The Ukrainian counteroffensive is struggling. Not only is Kyiv hampered by a shortage of ammunition, but some of the tactics that are now being deployed by the Russians have created some serious problems. In the past week, Russia has started to use its anti-ship missiles, such as the P-800 Onyx, to strike land targets inside Ukraine. And this has created all kinds of problems for the Ukrainian anti-air defense systems. Consider this: on Wednesday night, Russia struck the Ukrainian port city of Odessa with 19 missiles in a span of less than 2 hours. And according to the Ukrainian Air Force, just about 5 of those 19 Russian missiles could be intercepted. Yuri Ihnat, the spokesperson of the Ukrainian Air Force, has now gone on record to state that Ukraine simply hasn't got the means to guard itself against missiles like the Onyx along its coast. So why is Ukraine getting outgunned at its ports in this stage of the war? Our next report gets you the details. The supersonic Onyx missiles are designed to destroy watercraft and ships. They fly at a speed of over 3,000 kilometers per hour, but it's not just their speed which makes it hard to intercept them, but it's their flight profile and trajectory. In the final approach to the target, the Onyx missiles can fly at an altitude of less than 15 meters as they are designed as a sea-skimming missile. The Onyx can be launched from ships, submarines and even land-based equipment. But the Onyx missiles can be intercepted by using ballistic missile defense such as the American Patriot missile defense system or the French SAMP-T defense system. But Ukraine hasn't got either of these defense systems in the quantities that it needs. And the United States, despite its loud assurances of help, hasn't said anything about equipping Ukraine with more elite air defense systems. But what the Americans have sent to Ukraine in this past week are cluster bombs, also known as the abominable ammunition, for the simple fact that the cluster bomblets linger around, killing and maiming innocent civilians and children decades after the fighting has ended. And these are already being used in the battlefield.
The cluster ammunition has one very big advantage. It can cover a very wide area where many soldiers and light armored vehicles are located. With these shells, we can stop them and help our infantry advance. Thus, the enemy will be hindered from advancing and our troops can conquer advantageous positions.
On the 17th of July, Ukraine attacked the Crimean Bridge in yet another audacious attack using naval drones. The 12-mile-long Kerch Bridge is the longest in Europe. Vladimir Putin condemned the strike on the Kerch Bridge as a terrorist attack, and immediately afterwards, Russia unleashed wave after wave of missile strikes on Ukrainian ports.
Russian armed forces carried out group revenge strike with sea-based high-precision weapons on objects where terror attacks on Russia using unmanned boats were prepared, as well as the place where those boats were made at a factory near Odessa. Apart from that, fuel depots holding about 70,000 tons of fuel near Mykolaiv and Odessa were destroyed. Those depots were used to supply fuel for Ukrainian armed forces. All targets were hit. Fires and explosions on those objects were witnessed.
Russia has also pulled the plug on the Black Sea grain deal and has said that the safety of any ship heading towards the Ukrainian ports cannot be guaranteed. What this means is that nearly 33 million tons of grain, which Ukraine can export out of its ports, may no longer make its way to the international markets. The Russia-Ukraine war has been a major factor in the galloping inflation and the cost of living crisis that the world has experienced since February last year. And the longer the blockade on the export of grains from the Black Sea continues, the world should brace itself for a crippling food crisis that stares us in the face.